Hello, Speak English, follow your dreams. We are here live today to talking about hypothetical situations. That's a bit of a mouthful. What does it mean? Well, it means talking about or using this very simple word in English. What is it? Using the word if. All right, so we're using a very hypothetical, a beautiful, big, long, complicated word, and it's used to describe a very small word, if. So how are you using the word if in English? Are you using it correctly? Well, that's what we're here to talk about today. Okay, this is hypothetical situations. And why? Start with why, right? Why are we doing this? Why am I talking about this today? Because this is one of the parts of the language that comes up every day in business and in life. Okay, it's a very important part of the language, and also there's two reasons why here today. Also, it is one of the most common mistakes. Every time I hear English learners speaking in English, most of the time, I should say, not every time, most of the time, they're making mistakes here using the word if. So I'm coming here live today. This is a live training for, I have no idea how long, but we're going to step through this together. So I want you, this is your opportunity to get some amazing free training here. And yeah, look at how we do this. See if you're making mistakes in this area and see if we can help you clear up these mistakes and speak correctly and impress other people with your English skills. So if you're here, get into the comments, okay? Tell us, say hello, tell us where you're watching from. Okay, if you give StreamYard access, then I think you go to, there's a comment or there's a, in the description above, it will say how you can give StreamYard access because we're going live here with StreamYard today. And then if you go to streamyard.com/Facebook or whatever it is, give permission, then your name will appear and I can show your comments on the screen. So let's get started. We are talking about hypothetical situations. I'm going to leave it going along the bottom of the screen here to remind you throughout this live. And we're going to take a look at this and clear it up for you. So, using the word if, talking about hypothetical situations, the technical term for this in English is conditionals. Okay, we're talking about conditionals. And what I'm going to do also here, I'm going to give you a sneak peek into the program. What I'm doing with this is what we're covering in the program in English Fluency Secrets this week. So you're going to get a sneak peek, a small look into what's happening inside of the program. The path to success, the way you become a confident English speaker in English is you must go through these phases which match the natural approach. Understanding clearly, expressing yourself confidently, and communicating effectively. And there are different steps that we go through. But we're looking here today at correct usage, using English correctly. Okay, so before we continue here, let me explain to you. If you are at a basic level of English and you're not interested in speaking correctly, you just want to get your main idea across, then this training is probably not for you. Okay, this is for people who are interested in, who need to use English correctly for professional reasons, in business, in their career, or maybe they're living in an English speaking country and they already can communicate, but they know that they're making mistakes and they want to be able to communicate effectively. They want to be able to communicate correctly. That's who this video is for today. Okay, we're talking about correct communication and correct usage of English. So, conditionals in English. We already have someone popping in here saying hello. Hello, Facebook user. Nice to see you. Thank you for your comment. Okay. I want to get some action here in the comments today. Okay. So, thank you very much. So, we have a series of different types of conditionals, ways to use the word if in English. Okay. So, let's take a look at some examples here. This is the overview. If sales increase, we make a profit. Okay, if sales increase, we make a profit. We're using the word if here. And this is called the zero conditional. This is used to talk about things that are always true. Okay, general. Yesterday, tomorrow, next year. Okay, if sales increase, we make a profit. This is a fact. Okay. The next example we have here, let's take a look. If sales increase, we'll make a profit. Now there's a small difference here, okay? You can see that we are using the future, right? Here, we will make a profit, okay? And this is talking about the future. This is a specific event in the future, maybe next quarter, right? Or next year or next month. If sales increase, we'll make a profit. Okay, that's known as the first conditional. So the zero conditional talks about something that is always true, a fact. Then the first conditional talks about a specific event in the future. Okay, see the difference? There's a small difference here between these two sentences. That's the zero and the first conditional. Now, I told you already there are a total of 4 conditionals in English. Let's take a look at the next one. If sales increased, we would make a profit. Okay, so you can see now there are some more changes. We're not saying increase anymore. We're saying increased. Be careful with the pronunciation here, okay? Increased. It sounds like a T. If sales increased, we would make a profit. Now we're using would. This is called the second conditional. This is used to talk about something that is not real. You don't believe that this can happen. Okay? It can be used to talk about the present or the future. Anything that you believe is not very real. It's not likely to happen. Okay? So that's the second conditional. The zero, the first, the second. And finally, we have the third conditional. If sales had increased, we would have made a profit. And this sentence now is used to describe the past. We're talking about the past now. Okay, so with these 4 conditionals, we've covered all of the different situations where you would be able to use a hypothetical situation or the word if in English. Okay, we have something that's always true, something that is specific in the future, something that we don't believe can happen, and when we talk about the past. They are the 4 conditionals. So here in this live training, we're going to be looking at each of these individually. Because, as I said, so many mistakes are made here, and people often are not using these structures correctly in English. What is a conditional? A conditional, as you probably have noticed in the examples, we have 2 clauses, right? Looks like 2 sentences. They're not full sentences, but they're 2 clauses, okay? If, and then the result, okay? If blah, 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 then blah, blah, blah. That's the result, okay? And you can see why this is so important, because in real life, it's so often that you have to describe a situation like this, okay? So if you know how to do this properly, then you can use it across the board. You can use it every day, and especially in business situations, this is something that we use every day, okay? So this is something that you must master. You must be able to do this naturally when you're communicating in English. We have the condition and the result. So as we saw, if sales increase, we make a profit. If sales increase, That is the condition. The result is we make a profit. Okay. And then, this is what inspired me to go here live today. We have in the program at this stage, we have been working on this for a little over a week. We have fully covered the zero conditional, the first conditional, and the second conditional, and now we're focusing on the third conditional. And one of the students, because there's no point in just studying grammar, right? You have to be using it in the real world. Okay, that's English, right? It's a language. So this our students have to come up with situations to use this in the real world. So yesterday, one of our students who has been in the program for since last year, she wanted to say this sentence to another student who has just joined, and she wanted to use the third conditional. All right, so this is an advanced example here. If you had have joined the program sooner, all right, now the pronunciation is quite important here. If you would have joined, you see the way I say that? If you would have joined, okay? When we speak, we usually contract, okay? If you would have joined the program sooner, you would have been able to go to the USA last year. This student is planning to go to a seminar in the USA next month. And another person said to him, if he had have joined the program sooner, he would have been able to go to the USA last year. So you see, we're talking about the past here. And this is an advanced example of conditionals. And really, you need to be able to do this naturally when speaking in English, okay? There is a lot happening here, and we'll take a look at that in this video. How can you make a sentence like this? Zero, first, second, and third. Let's take a look at these one by one. First of all, we have the present real conditions, generally true, or facts, okay? So what's a fact? Let's look at science, okay? When you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils, okay? This is something that's always true. This is called the zero conditional. You can use if or when, okay? If you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. Now, I'm going to point out some of the most common mistakes here as we go through this, okay? And one of the most common mistakes is, take a look at the very last word here in this example, boils. We often, or learners often, miss out on the S here, okay? It boils, present simple. What do we have? We have present simple and present simple. Two clauses. First clause, present simple. Second clause, present simple. Okay. If you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. That is the zero conditional. It's probably the easiest one to make. Let's do some examples together. Let's see, how many people do we have? Anyone watching us here? We have 9. Okay, so there are 9 of you here now. Let's practice that comment, because I'm going to ask you guys to do some comments here. Okay, so if you are alive, if you can hear me, please press number 1. Just type 1 into the comments. Let me see if we have any, if our comments are working here, if my system is up and running. Just type 1 into the comments and click enter. Give me some feedback here. Let me know that you can hear me and I am not only speaking to myself. Right? Very easy. Type 1 into the comments and send it to me, just so we know you're here, just so we can get some feedback. And then I'm going to ask you if you can answer this sentence. No comments coming in. No. Oh, hello from Kyrgyzstan. Okay, excellent. We have, I'm not, so it means I'm not here on my own. Thank you very much. I got some feedback. All right. Okay, so let's see if you guys can follow along with this. Hello, Jeet. Thank you very much. Okay, I know I'm here. I know I'm here. Jeet is in the program. Nice to see you here, Jeet. Okay, let's do this. If or when we sell enough, we make a profit. can you answer this question? Can you put this? Remember, this is the zero conditional. The example is below, okay, that we saw previously. When you heat water to 100 degrees, it boils, okay? So present simple, present simple. This is quite simple, okay? What is, we have a few people now coming in saying hello. Okay, number one. All right, people are listening. So can you give us the answer to this zero conditional sentence? Can you give us the answer here? Amfan is here. One. Okay. What is the answer? If we blank enough, we blank a profit. What is the answer? Who can be the first person to get the correct answer here? It's very simple. It's very, very easy. That's your hint. It's very, very easy. If we profit, what is the answer here? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Time is moving on. Who can give it to us? Everybody's very nervous to put in an answer here, in case people see that they're wrong. Remember, mistakes. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Okay? Jade, you're a superstar, as always. Sell and make. If we sell enough, we make a profit. Nice and simple. Fantastic, Jade. Thank you. Well done, Facebook viewer. Okay, we have the answers coming in. Well done, guys. Yes. Okay, that's it. All right. Now, as I was saying there, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be afraid of taking action. This is the only way you can develop. Okay. All right. Great. We have some activity. If we sell enough, we make a profit. Let's have a look at another example here. If or when, remember with this conditional, we can use if or when. If interest rates borrowing more. So interest rates go up and borrowing. Okay, again, it's zero conditional. It's pretty simple, but there's one thing here, one extra thing you have to remember. And I told you this in the example a moment ago. All right. All right, so we have rise and cost. Who's this Facebook user? I'm going to have to check the names on Facebook. By the way, if you want your name to appear here, you can give StreamYard access above. Okay, so it has StreamYard/Facebook. I think it's above this video. And if you click there or go there, then you can have your name appear. If I serve people, I will bring more profit. Excellent. Okay, we're getting some rise and cost. Okay, so for the two people who have answered this, rise and cost, there is something you forgot. All right, there is something you forgot. And this, I'm very glad, and it's great that you made this mistake because it means you're going to learn something today. Okay, what is it? What is the small mistake? If you get anything from this video, please notice that mistakes are great. This is how we learn, okay? Rise is correct, and costs. All right, I told you guys in the previous slide, this is one of the most common. See, I'm like, I can predict the mistakes you're going to make. I've been doing this so long. So don't forget the S, okay? Borrowing costs, okay? Borrowing costs more, all right? Okay, so that is the zero conditional. Well done to everyone. Great getting some active here. Thank you, Namfon. There's the link if you want to get your name to appear when you're answering here, StreamYard.com, Facebook. Thank you very much. All right, so that's the zero conditional. Let's move on. What else do we have? Well, we can look here at this video and we can get a general overview. And this is great. I hope I'm going to clear up some confusion for you here today and help you understand more. what we do in the program is we don't usually do this kind of teaching live, right? Because some people, as you see here, right, maybe you feel this yourself, some people learn faster than others, okay? Some people need to take a little more time. So what we do in the program is we have the course portal, the website. All of my students get access to training material, videos, activities, PDFs, worksheets, where they take their time and they go over all of the exercises so they really understand. Okay, they can take as much time as they want, go back, watch the videos again. Okay, and then also what we do is we have, after that, we have coaching. All right, every Wednesday in the program we have coaching, and this is where we all meet up live and people can ask their questions, can clarify, can get the motivation they need and things like that. Okay, so this is an extra way that you can deepen your understanding. Okay, we don't have time to go in to do all of this here, obviously, but this is what happens in the program. So we have cleared up the zero conditional. I hope that's clear for you now. Next of all, let's take a look at the next conditional, the first conditional. We're talking about future real conditions or real situations. Okay. You are very welcome. That's what I'm here. And I'm very happy to hear you say thank you for your motivation, because that's what I'm here to do. Okay, it's all about motivation. People say to me all the time, I don't feel motivated. When you're on your own and you're trying to do this, you don't have motivation, right? So that's how coming together like this can give you motivation. I'm very happy to hear you use that word. Thank you. So the first conditional, future real conditionals, or future real conditions, or future real situations. Very simple example. If it rains tomorrow, we'll go to the cinema. Okay, now this is different to the zero conditional because it's a real example about the future. Tomorrow, if it rains tomorrow, we will go to the cinema. All right, so you can see here we're using the future simple, will go. All right, we have the present simple and the future simple. Clear? Are you ready to get into the comments? Are you ready to do some examples? Okay, remember, use the present simple with the if clause, and the future simple, we can just use will with the next clause, the result clause. Let's take a look. Here's the first example. All right, let's see who can give us the answer first. And I'm going to bring this up on my phone too, just in case people are commenting and their name is not coming up here on Facebook. Sorry, in my program here on StreamYard. Okay, do I have the comments? I do. All right. All right. Nurila is who's, thank you, Nurila, for your comments there. All right. So if the project quickly, I get a promotion. All right. Remember, this is first conditional. We have an answer already. If I finish the project quickly, I will get a promotion. Is she correct? Let's see, who was that? Remember, if you can give your StreamYard permission, then Nichapa, great. If I finish the project quickly, I'll get a promotion. Great to see you here. All right. So this is what happens when you give StreamYard permission. We can see your name. It's easier for me because I can't keep going to my phone to check the names. It's going to take too much time. Great job. All right. If I finish the project quickly, I will get a promotion. You guys have got it. You guys have got it. Small typo there with if, that's okay. No problem. All right. Nice and easy. First conditional. See, when you give me the feedback, I know how quickly I can move here. Very helpful. If I finish the project quickly, I will get a promotion. This is a real example in the future. One more. She missed the train if she not leave soon. She missed the train if she not leave soon. How can we do it? How can we do this? First conditional. Take a sneaky look at the example below if you need to. If she. Now be careful. Remember, in the last example, there was something I told you that's a common mistake, right? Something that people often forget when speaking English and using the present simple, all right? There's something that everyone missed in on the last slide using the zero conditional. So there's a small thing here you have to try to remember. Let's see who can do it. She missed the train if she not leave soon. She will miss the train if she doesn't leave soon. Excellent. You have got it. Okay. If she doesn't leave, that is the present simple, right? So don't forget it. Okay. She doesn't, not she don't leave, she doesn't leave. Okay. Great. We have the correct answer. So yeah, just be careful here with the negative of the present simple. Doesn't leave. Okay, she will miss the train if she doesn't leave. Sometimes we have isn't leave, right? Some people like to this I see this all the time. Okay, she isn't. So the negative, right, should be she doesn't leave. She will miss the train if she doesn't leave soon. Well done. Okay, excellent. Good job, everybody. That is the first conditional. Remember now, okay, the zero conditional, facts, always true. The first conditional is talking about a specific event in the future. Here we have the train. This is soon. The first one was tomorrow, okay? Oh no, if I finish the project, I will get a promotion. So it's not specifically, the example was for tomorrow. Okay, so specific example in the future. That's the first conditional. What we do here now, this is very important. This is something that you have to realize. Okay, what we're doing here is we are clarifying, we are understanding, we are learning how to use it correctly, and this is where most people stop. Okay, you cannot stop here. You must use it in the real world. Okay, you must be speaking. Okay, you must be using this in real examples, real contexts. Okay, learning the grammar alone is not enough, right? Because you'll find, if you have a lot of people who contact me, they've been studying English in school for many years, university, taking courses, but when they start to have a conversation, they don't have time to try and remember these rules, right? Does that ever happen to you? When you come into a real situation and you're thinking, okay, yeah, this is first conditional. So the first clause, if the other person is gone, right? You don't have time to think of these rules when you're in the real world. So how do you solve this problem? You get practice. You have to practice communicating. You have to get structured practice. Okay. And that is what we do in the program. Okay. So at this stage in the program, when we did this last week, we clarify, we do the coaching, we do the practice, and then we get straight into communication practice. This is the most important part. Okay. So what does the communication practice look like? Well, what we do is we have, for this example, we wanted to practice using the zero and the first conditional, which you guys just reviewed there. So we have a series of discussion questions, okay, that use the zero conditional and the first conditional, real life discussion questions. And all of my students in the program, they get into small groups and they start using it. They start talking about their lives, talking about their businesses, talking about their jobs, and using the zero and first conditional. And you need to do this. Okay, what I do is I get the students to talk to one person, and then they talk to another person, and then they talk to another person. And that's the most important part. You need to find opportunities to practice using the different language that you learn. Okay, so this is what we do in the program. They speak to each other, they speak in small groups. Then I am paying attention in the background, and I'm noticing the mistakes they're doing, the mistakes they're making, I'm sorry, and what they're doing well, what they're not doing so well, and then we have feedback at the end of the session. And this is how you become a confident English communicator. This is how you use these structures correctly. Okay, so if you cannot join a program like this, you need to get out there and be trying this. Okay, you need to, it's different. It's very different learning it from a book or learning it from a video like this and then going out into the real world. I know you know this. If you've had conversations with people, you're not ready. You have to stop and you have to try to think of the rules. Okay, how do you do that? How do you run faster? You practice running. How do you play tennis better? You play tennis, right? You go to the gym, you have to lift the weights, you have to lift it a bit. That's how you do it. So if you want to improve your speaking, you have to speak more, right? It's not rocket science. It's not very difficult. It's a very simple concept. You have to be speaking. Okay, so get out there, communicate, and practice. Okay, let's continue. What's coming up next? We have the second conditional, right? So we've covered the first. We've covered the zero conditional. We've covered the first conditional. Now, what is the second conditional? The second conditional is used to talk about dreams. That's a very simple word to use. Unreal, right? Or hypothetical. Something that you do not believe is going to happen, right? Something that is unreal. This is the difference between the second conditional and the first. The first conditional talks about something real, right? If it rains, I'll use my umbrella, right? That's real. It could possibly rain later today in the future. The second conditional is used to talk about something that is not real, all right? For example, if I won the lottery, I'd buy a Ferrari. All right, now listen to me speaking. I didn't say I would buy a Ferrari. We don't speak English like that. I'd buy a Ferrari. I'd buy. Now there's the wood is contracted to a D, very subtle D sound. I'd buy a Ferrari. I'd buy a Ferrari. That's how we say it. If I won the lottery, I'd buy a Ferrari. We're using would here because it's not very probable. It's not very likely. We are making it very clear that this is something in our imagination that we don't believe can happen in the real world. That is the second conditional. Also be careful with if, right? If the if clause is followed by the past simple. Okay, so if I won the lottery, right? We're not talking about the past. Don't get confused here. We're talking about the future or maybe the present, right? We're not talking about the past, but we're using the past in the if clause, okay? And this is used to talk about a hypothetical situation or something you believe is not real, like winning the lottery. Do you really believe you're going to win the lottery and you're going to be driving a Ferrari next month or next year? Very small chance that this could happen. That's the second conditional. Let's do some examples. Let's see if you guys are still awake. Let's see how many people are watching here. Right, we have 7 people watching here. If you are watching, let's see your answers. Remember, get active. Passive input of the language is not going to help you be able to use it. You need to take action, okay? So let's have a look at the first example here. She traveled the world if she rich. Okay, so we're using the verb travel and be here. Now you need to think about it. How do we make the second conditional? Let's see who can answer first here, okay? And also there's a little hint right here, right? The example is there beside you to remind you, okay? So you don't have to work too hard here today. So who can answer this one first? Remember, don't be afraid to make a mistake. By making a mistake, you learn, you develop. Mistakes are wonderful, all right? Make mistakes, move on. Make mistakes, move forward, learn from your mistakes. She travel the world if she be rich. How can we say this sentence? All right. This example is not real. because she's not rich. Okay, this example is in the present. We have an example here. We have an answer here. She would travel if she was rich. That is almost perfect. She could travel the world if she was rich. Good. Now, Nietzsche Pa is showing us here that we can use could as well as would. All right. You can use could, you can use would, you can use might. All right. She could travel the world. So, sorry. Yeah. Could is past. All right. She could travel the world if she was rich. Now, there's both of you have made a small mistake here, and this is why I chose this example, okay? Because this is an extra little trick that happens in the second conditional. So she would travel, or she could travel the world if we do not say was. Now, why is that? If you make a normal sentence using the past tense, last year she was rich, that's fine. But there's an extra rule here. When followed by if, when followed by the word if, we don't use was. We never use was, even if the subject is she or he or it. We actually use, let's see, can anyone guess the answer? I'll give you 5 seconds before I show you. If we don't use was, what do we use? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is were. Okay, so this is an extra rule using conditionals, using the second conditional. Someone wrote it in here. Someone got there at the last second. Were, yes, little mistake in the spelling. That's okay. I know you're trying to type really quickly here. All right, she would travel. Were, well done, Jeed. I know you're an expert at this now. Well done, Jeed. Okay, we'll see you in a few hours to practice doing this. Okay, so yes, extra rule here, followed by if. In the if clause, we don't use was, we use were. She were, he were. All right, I were, right? I know it sounds strange, but you say if I were rich, if she were rich, if he were rich. All right, let's have a look at another example here. If the markets not be so volatile, right? What does volatile mean? Volatile means that it can be changed very easily. Okay, it can be changed to extremes very easily. So the markets, like the markets in the world, you can see the last 10 years are quite volatile. They can go up, they can be really strong, they can drop down. So the markets can go up and down, can change dramatically. So to be volatile. If the markets not be so volatile, we invest more. Okay, invest is to put your money into an asset that can help you to make more money. All right, again, business settings, conditionals are used all of the time, very often. So use the structure here, use the second conditional and complete the sentence. All right, if the markets not be so volatile, we invest more. We invest more money. All right, great. We're getting answers coming in. If the markets didn't be, we would invest. Good answer. There's a small mistake here now, but I'd like to talk about here. Past simple, we often say didn't plus the verb, but the verb to be, the verb to be breaks all of the rules in English, right? We don't use didn't for the verb to be. Nietzsche Pa is here to help you out. If the markets weren't so volatile, we could invest more. Nice one. Good job. Okay. So that's it. Negative of the verb to be is weren't. It's not didn't be. Okay. If the markets weren't so volatile, we could invest more. Great. Excellent. Well done. Let's take a look at my example. I use would. We would invest more. We could invest more is fine as well. All right. We have one more example for the second conditional here before we move on. Okay, let's take a look at this example. If cash flow, right, the flow of cash in a business, cash comes in, cash comes out, cash goes out, right? Cash flow. You can also have a personal cash flow, right? When you have money coming into your own account and going out, that's cash flow. Flow like liquid. When we speak English, we want it to flow. We want to be fluent, right? Cash flow, not be so tight, right? If cash flow, let me just remove that answer there. Tight. If cash flow is tight, it means you don't have much cash flowing through the company. Okay, it's tight. Cash flow is tight, means cash is not moving. We don't have that much cash flowing through the company. If cash flow not be so tight, the company purchase, another word for buy, okay, usually in the business setting we use the word purchase instead of buy. So purchase more machinery, machines, all right, machines, whatever the company is, it would have different machinery to manufacture the products. We have an answer coming in straight away. If cash flow wasn't so tight, the company would purchase more machinery. Excellent. 99% correct. So let's have a look here. Now remember, I love mistakes. You need to learn to love mistakes as well, right? This is how we learn, okay? So this answer here has forgotten, the person who answered this forgot the small rule. We remember we don't use was after if. Nichapa is here to save the day again. Weren't. Excellent, she remembered. Well done. Nichapa is here to save the day. If cash flow weren't so tight, the company would purchase more. Fantastic. Okay. The company would purchase more machinery. That is the second conditional. All right. So I hope now that you have more of an understanding about this, about the second conditional. We've already covered the zero, the first and the second. We only have one more conditional to look at, and then you have a great understanding of all of the conditionals in English, all of the different situations where you can use if. And remember, this is where a huge amount of mistakes are made every day. Mistakes are great. Mistakes are great to make here with me, right? Learn from the mistakes, and then when you go out into the real world, then you're not making these mistakes, because today we're focusing on accuracy. Okay. All right. So the next thing, as I said before, is communication practice, right? And as I am reminding you all here, step one is to understand the structures, to remember the structures. That's only the first step. You need to be using this with real people, communicating, so it becomes natural. You're hardwiring these connections in your brain, so it becomes, when you speak, when I'm here speaking English now, I'm not thinking about the different rules, the different verb tenses, the different subject agreements, all that. I don't think about that. The ideas flow. This happens with you in your native language, and this happens when you get enough communication practice in English. Okay, this is the only way to do it, is by communicating. All right. Mistakes help us gain knowledge. Yes, that's right now, Van. Everyone in the program understands this, right? Everyone I work with, one of the first things you need to realize is that mistakes are great. Mistakes help us gain knowledge. We learn, we develop. So how do we get the communication practice in my private program with my students? Well, for this example, this was the second conditional. So what we did here was, you can often play games in English as well. This is a great way to improve your fluency, because when you're enjoying what you're doing, you're learning, your mind is more open to remember and to learn more. Okay, and you put in more time. If you're not happy, if you're not enjoying the process, you stop, right? and you don't get the practice you need. So we often play games, and in this activity we have a series of this one actually was using the zero, the first, and the second conditional. So we have a series of questions here. I think it was 12 questions. And what my students did, they wrote the answers secretly into a grid, right? For example, a Ferrari, right? That was one of the answers to one of the questions. Maybe if you were to win, if you won the lottery, what would you buy? And maybe they'd write a Ferrari. So then they go into pairs and they have to guess what the question was to their answer, to their partner's answer, right? So they're trying to guess the question from the answer. Fantastic way to review all of the conditionals, have some fun. And again, what we did here was we got practice, different partners. So you have to repeat. Okay? You have to do it again and again and again. Doing it one time is not going to hardwire your brain for speaking English fluently for the rest of your life. Okay. So what I encourage you to do is to have the same discussion a number of times, because repetition is the mother of skill. Any skill you have in your life, when you do it again and you do it again, that's how you get skill. Okay. So what we often do in the program is two people will speak together and then they'll mix together a new partner and they speak together, have the same discussion again, then have the same discussion again. By the time you have the third structured practice, you're really feeling confident, right? The first time you do it, maybe you're not so confident. Confidence is it is the most important factor for success in life and business. Okay, this is what most people who contact me are looking for, and this is what we focus on in the program: building confidence. Most people, they're confident in their own native language and they're doing business, but they want to go and do business with English-speaking clients or in another country. And once they change to English, they've no confidence anymore, right? So this is what we focus on. We focus on building that confidence. And how do you do it? Repetition, okay? Experience. This is how you build confidence. When you get experience doing something, you see you can do it, then your confidence grows. Okay, so repetition. And then, as I said previously, in all of our communication practice activities, we have feedback at the end. Okay, so I will go over the different mistakes that people are making so they can be aware of those mistakes and then try to eliminate them bit by bit. Okay, this is a process that continues. You learn from your mistakes, you move on, you make new mistakes, and you move on, you make new mistakes, you move on. Okay, so this is something I want to remind all of you. Don't forget about the communication practice. Okay, let's move on. What is next? Finally, this is the last conditional we're going to look at here today. It is called the third conditional. Now, the difference here is that we are now talking about the past. The zero conditional talks about always true, all time. The first conditional talks about the future. The second conditional also talks about the future and the present, but it's something that's not real. Finally, here we're talking about the past. Okay, that's the third conditional. Okay, we are wishing that we could change the past. We all know you cannot change the past, unfortunately. Well, I believe I don't want to change anything about the past. Everything happens for a reason, right? So maybe you don't want to use the third conditional. But if you have regret, right? Regret means that you feel sorry that something happened in the past and you wish you could change it. That's when you use the third conditional. And again, this comes up all the time in English, in business and in normal life in English. We use this all the time. And this is the number one, the big one, the most challenging one, and the place where people make most mistakes. So let's take a look at that now. If you had informed the client of the delay, he wouldn't have cancelled the order. This is the third conditional. We are talking about the past. It is not real, right? The truth is you did not. So this is, imagine the situation where your boss says to you, you made a mistake, right? You did not tell, you did not inform. Inform means to give information, okay? So you did not inform the client of the delay. So maybe someone ordered something, a product from your company, and it was delayed, right? There was a delay in shipping, but you did not inform the client. This is what happened. And then the client canceled the order, right? Because you didn't tell him that it was delayed. So now your boss is coming and criticizing you, telling you that you did something wrong, that you shouldn't have done this, right? And he is saying, if you had informed the client of the delay, he wouldn't have cancelled the order. That's the correct way of using the third conditional. And you can see here it's challenging, right? This is not going to happen very easily. You're not going to be, after this one video, you're not going to be using this 100% correctly all the time in English. Our goal here is for you to understand this, okay? Once you understand it, then you keep practicing it until it becomes natural, all right? So how do you understand it? You look at the structure. If is followed by the past perfect here. What is the past perfect? The past perfect is had plus verb 3, or the past participle. Okay, so look at the example, had informed, right? If plus had, and then the past participle. And then in the result clause, it's would, and then the present perfect. So the present perfect is have plus the past participle. So we have had and have. If blah, blah, blah had, then blah, blah, blah would have. Okay, right. As I said, it's a lot of things to remember. What do you do? First of all, you observe. You see the pattern. Next, you try to do it yourself. Okay, so we're going to do some examples. The pattern is here below. I'm pointing in the wrong direction. It's here, right? The pattern is here. Had, informed, would have, cancelled. Remember, when we're speaking in English, we say would have. Okay, so listen to me saying the sentence. If you had informed the client of the delay, if you had informed, okay? If you had informed the client of the delay, he wouldn't have cancelled the order. Wouldn't have, not would have. Wouldn't have cancelled the order. Let's do an example. Let's see where the real English experts are here. Okay. We not make that decision if we know about the software problems. We not make that decision if we know about the software problems. Let's see who can answer this. How many people are still with me? Who are the real serious people? Who really, really needs to be speaking English accurately to achieve their goals? We have 6 of you there. For the 6 people, for anyone who's still watching after an hour, you are dedicated, you are motivated, you are the type of people who get results, who reach success. Well done, right? Even if you're still here. If it's getting challenging now, that's okay, but you're trying, okay? So, let's try some answers. Type into the comments. Type into the comments. Where are my banners? Boop, boop, boop. Comment below, please. Comment below. We not mistake. Look at the, this is confusing because everything's swapped. Look at the example here, okay? we not make that decision if we know about the software problems. You need to use the past perfect with if. But be careful. The second clause is the if clause here. So it's swapped. With conditionals, we can swap the two clauses. Okay. So this sentence does not start with if. Okay. This sentence starts with the result clause. We have the answers coming in. Let's have a look. Nichapa is first this time. We wouldn't make that decision. Look at the example again. If we had known. So had known is correct, right? Had known is correct, but wouldn't make, you're missing a small part here. Okay, you've changed to won't. No, not won't. Okay, wouldn't is correct first, but you're missing something. We wouldn't made. So great, thank you for your answer here. Wouldn't made, we can't say this in English because after would, we use the first form of every verb. Okay, so we never have, in English, we never say wouldn't and then the second form or the past form. We don't do that. Okay, so that can't work, but well done for trying. Let's have a look. We wouldn't, nearly 99% correct. We wouldn't have make that decision if we had known. So everything is correct here except for one small letter. Let's see who can get it. Wouldn't have what? We wouldn't have made. You got it. You're all working together. You're getting bits and pieces together. That is it. Well done. All right, let's have a look at the answer. Well done to all of you. I know this is not easy. I know this is confusing. We wouldn't have made that decision if we had known about the software problems. Okay, we wouldn't have made that decision if we had known about the software problems. You are now speaking advanced English. You now understand one of the most complicated structures, okay? And definitely the most complicated conditional. We need to do another example, I think. Look. Right, example number 2. If I do an MBA, a Master's in Business, an MBA. If I do an MBA, I have more opportunities in my career. Okay, so again, this is third conditional. This is the past. In this example, we're expressing regret. Okay, we're expressing regret here. So we're trying to change the past. So the truth is that I didn't do an MBA and I didn't have many opportunities in my career. But we're saying, if I have done, I would have had. Okay, if I, very nearly correct, very nearly correct. If I look at the if clause, so would have had is perfect. There's a small mistake here in the if clause. Look at the example below and see if you can find it. It's not correct to say if I have done an MBA. We need to change it. If I, so the example coming in here for people on YouTube, because I don't think, oh no, YouTube can see as well. If I have done, would have had. We have the answer. If I had done, I would have done. Oh, not done. Not done. If I had done. Correct. That's it. So if I had done an MBA, what is the full example? Let's have a look. If I had done an MBA, I would have had more opportunities in my career. Namfon came in just in time. If I had done, good, you're contracting. This is the way we speak in English, okay? If I had done an MBA, I would have had more opportunities in my career. I would have had. All right. If I had done an MBA, I would have had more opportunities in my career. Excellent. Right. I believe we have one more example. Let's do it. Comment below. If you not take so long to make a decision, we get the contract. Again, this is criticism. This is the third conditional. This is talking about the past. Okay. If you not, so the truth, what is the truth here? You did take so long to make a decision, right? Namfan is saying, thank you for EFS. That's why you can do it. Well done, Namfan. I'm proud of you, okay? You're always doing the practice activities in the program, and now it shows you can do it, okay? You can do it. That's because you've practiced. You've done this yourself. Well done. Again, this is what we do in the program. We get practice, okay? It's all about practice, not just sitting down reading a book, okay? You need to practice doing it. You need to understand the grammar, understand the structure, understand the language you need to use, whether it's for presentations, for meetings, for any kind of situations. It's all about real situations in the real world. You have to then practice using it, okay? So back to this example, you took too long to make a decision, so we didn't get the contract. That's the truth. That's what happened in the past. But we are looking at the third conditional. We are criticizing. We are imagining the opposite. So Nichapa is here. If you had not taken so long to make a decision, we would have. Okay, so there's a little confusion here. Criticism is not the verb. Okay, criticism, I'm explaining to you that this sentence is an example of criticism. Okay, criticism is when you tell someone they did something wrong. Okay, the verb is get. Okay, maybe a little confusing there. I can see how you got confused there. Okay, so the correct, she's laughing as well, right? Okay, so you would have gotten. Good, we can say you would have gotten or you would have got. Well done, Nichapa. I'm proud of you here today. If you hadn't taken so long, we wouldn't have got. Okay, so you're using the negative here. Actually, it doesn't have to be negative. It can be positive. Okay, it actually is. It is positive here. So if you hadn't taken so long to make the decision, we would have got the contract. Okay, gotten is also correct. Okay, we would have got the contract. We would have gotten the contract. And that is it. You guys have a general understanding of the third conditional now. You know at this stage the next step is communication. Okay, get the understanding first, then you put it into practice. Okay, how did we? I'm pulling back the curtain here today. I'm giving you a sneak peek. What did we do in the program? This was yesterday, right? In yesterday's communication practice session, this is what we did. Okay, so I'm here. I'm pulling back the curtain for all of you to see today. How do we do this exactly? All right. So I told you earlier on, a great way to get communication practice is by playing games. Okay, often I do this with my students because when you're enjoying it, you remember more, you practice for longer, right? And really, you should enjoy everything you do in life anyway. Okay, so here we played a board game. All right, and throughout the board game, there are different real life examples of using the third conditional. So this is what we did. It took almost 2 hours to do it. Well, about an hour and a half to play the game last night. But by the end of this game, we had people who played this game with us yesterday. And at the start of the game, they didn't even know what the third conditional was. And by the end of the game, they could use it in English. That's your goal, okay? Your goal, you need to be clear about your goals. English is a language. You need to be able to use it to communicate, to express your ideas, to connect. Okay? Often people are just looking at the grammar, understanding something like the third conditional, making a sentence, and then thinking, okay, now I know the third conditional. And then 2 months later, they come for an interview with me, and I ask them a question in the third conditional, and they cannot answer me. And they go, oh, I don't know. I have to stop and I have to think. Yes, that's because you need the practice. And that is, I am speaking to people every day. I'm speaking to hundreds of people every month. And this is the number one thing that people are missing. That's why I'm building it. That's why I have the full program, is for people to get the practice they need to be able to speak with confidence. You need to get the practice. Okay, so this is what we did. Again, how does it work? I'm telling you everything here today. We do the activity, right? We use it, we're speaking, we're communicating, we're connecting, and then at the end we have feedback. I go over the mistakes and I explain, this is what you're doing well, this is what you're not doing well. And that is how you speak English fluently. That is how you improve you build your confidence in English. That's how it's done. Okay, it's not going to happen overnight, but with practice you can do this. I'm watching it all the time. One of the best things about my life at the moment is I'm seeing people turn into confident English communicators. This is my dream. Here we have an overview of what we've looked at today. Okay, the zero conditional, the first conditional, the second conditional, and the third conditional. The zero conditional, if sales increase, we make a profit. Always true. The first conditional, future, next year, next quarter, if sales increase, we'll make a profit. The second conditional, we don't believe it's true. We don't believe it can happen. If sales increased, we would make a profit, but we don't think it's going to happen. And then finally, the third conditional, used to speak about the past. If we would have changed the past, if we could change the past. If sales had increased, we would have made a profit. That is how you speak about hypothetical situations in English. That is how you become a confident English speaker. What have we learned here today? Remember, understand, express, communicate. They are the 3 steps to being fluent in a language. Okay? As I said, it's not rocket science. We can mimic nature. How does it happen in the natural world? How does a baby learn their native language? They get input. They understand. Then they start to speak, to say some words. And then finally, communication happens. And they're the steps that you need to master. Don't forget the final step. Most people are just doing the first step. They're not expressing themselves. They're not communicating. Okay? So the full program we have at the moment, we are limiting. We have really limited access to the full program now. What I am doing here, we have this huge community with thousands of you here. I'm here to help all of you to understand and improve your English skills. Obviously, I cannot do that with all of you, right? We cannot do it with over 4,000 people. That's why we have the full program. The full program is a small group of people who need English to achieve their goals in life. Most people who get into the program are using English for business or their career. Okay, they are the people we focus on. They're the people we work one-on-one with, work in small groups with, and we help them reach their goals. So as a result, we have to limit the number of people who get in every month. Okay, so from this month forward, we haven't decided yet. It'll either be 4 or 5 people only can get into the program every month. Okay, so anyway, that is speaking English with confidence about hypothetical situations. Well done to all of you who were active here today. If If we hadn't chosen to join you, we wouldn't have been able to speak English with confidence. Exactly. Thank you, Namfon. And that's what we see in the program. We have an amazing community of people now who are just making great friends, making great connections all around the world, and helping to drive each other forward to reaching this goal. It's an amazing community. I know some of you are here today, joining in here. I'm glad to have you in the program. For those of you who are in the program in English Fluency Secrets, I will see you in a few hours for today's communication activity practice. We are working on the third conditional. So I'll see you guys soon. For everyone else, we will be live here for Speak English, Follow Your Dreams TV tomorrow. Okay. Take care, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon.